Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. That is one heck of an echo. That is one heck of an echo. How about now? Is there still an echo? I'm gonna assume it's fine then. Alrighty, today we are going to mod the Keychron Q1 version 2. I am going to actually bring up a guide on how to do that on the computer. So first things first, we unplug. Also, I need to get masking tape for the tape stuff. So, first things first. Wow. Gotta keep the screws in order. Actually, before I get too gung-ho on the screws, I actually have to take all the caps off. So here, we have a keycap puller. That one's an exception because it's an artisan and it is really hecking big. So it works, you slot it in here, and pull, and done. Keycap removal and switch removal, and then replacing both of those is easily one of the most time-consuming steps of this entire process. Actually, while we're at it, I'm gonna shoot the stream off to a few more people. Alright, I have about 2.5 hours to get this all done. So we'll see if I can do that all in time. Up there. Actually, yeah. Let's just do it that way. Apparently, if you go on AliExpress, which is a Chinese wholesale site, you can buy a very premium set of keyboard modding tools. That's called the Gold Dragon or something. And it costs, like, some ridiculous amount. We're talking, like, almost $150 for, like, 4 tools. It's just fancier versions of what I'm using now. Yeah, no, thanks. I'm not looking to pay, sorry. This is indeed a Keychron. It is a Keychron Q1. Hello. It is a very nice keyboard stock, although the switches are extremely light stock. But I was happily using this until I got my main keyboard, which is called the Frog. Because, surprise, surprise, I like frogs. Space bars, I swear. They're always my least favorite key to yank out. There we go. The Geon Frog, yep. It is a very nice board, I think, for its retail price. Which, granted, if you live outside of Korea, you're paying an extra $50 on top of it, at least, because shipping from Korea to the US via Geon is like $40 to $50. But, you can find it on secondhand sites fairly easily now. I think it's a very, very good board. I think it's a little sad that he plans to stop making them at some point soon. But, yes, I agree. For its price, it is a very high quality keyboard. People would usually describe Geon Frog as like the beginning of the the budget, not budget, the beginning of the premium mid range. Because I can say confidently, if it was like $100 more, I would still think the Geon Frog is still pretty damn good quality. Alright, now for switch pulling. Let's see if I make any of these explode. So, this Keychron is what I use for my audio workstation. And the only thing I really do not like about its stock is the fact that the switches are really, really light. Like, we are talking 45 grams of force, which, reference, my main keyboard uses a 70-gram switch, ink blacks. So this is very, very, very light in comparison. So it throws me off. And while this is my secondary, because I only use this keyboard while I'm at my audio workstation doing voice acting stuff. Ink blacks are nice, but unfortunately with ink blacks, the amount of work you have to do past stock to get them good is a little... I think having gotten them pre-lubed or pre-filmed from someone for only 20 extra bucks, I'm happy with ink blacks, but if I had to go through all of the work of doing that myself, I probably would not be as happy. Come on. pulling out switches. This is always my least favorite part of any keyboard build. Switches. Mainly because I am always worried that I'm going to either break the switch or bust the PCB underneath. I'm not going to put black inks at this one. I'm going to... I have a few different options on the shelf next to me. I have Techno Violets, I have Zaku's, I have Corsas, I have Honeycombs and Bigwigs. I'm probably going to go either with Techno Violets or the Honeycombs. Maybe the Honeycombs, because they also have they don't have a purely clear casing, but they have a smoky clear casing, which will let some more of the lighting through. Do I need to... No, I guess that's just normal. That's the thing about switches. Once you find your switch, you don't usually switch off it unless you're trying to experiment. And I am still trying to find that switch. Black inks are close for me, but they require way too much work to get right, and they're a bit too heavy. They're great for casual typing, but for gaming, not so much. Especially if you're gaming for longer stretches. Yeah, if I ever do black inks again, I'll spring swap them. I just really do not want to have to open them up and potentially ruin the lube/film job that's already in there. I'm using too much force with this. I don't think I am. I will save the stab switches for last. Yeah, it's always a pain in the ass, and I'm always worried about whether or not I'm going to bust a hot swap socket on a PCB. Yeah, that switch, Come on. Not sure if it shows up on stream, but if you look closely enough, you can see the crimes of my cats leaving cat hair in my keyboard. Oh, man. My Gion Frog does not require nearly this much effort to get switches out. Very true. Although, with my frog, it's a little too easy to take the switches out, which is kind of a pain in the ass whenever I want to switch caps out. Because like a fifth of my ink blacks will come out while I'm trying to take caps off. And part of that problem is because I did not use any plate foam on my Gion build. It is a completely foamless build, except for a very thin piece of case foam at the very back of the PCB. I really like the sound profile that using an aluminum plate raw gives you with ink blacks. Kind of sounds like metallic raindrops a little. Oh, Jesus Christ, what? Is this like... I can't tell if this is an aluminum plate or stainless steel. Probably steel. Pretty thick. I have a Zoom TKL and a QK75, both on the way at some point. And I might try a bit of foam on the QK75 just to see what it's like, but I think once you've tried the foam build once or twice, you don't really need to keep going for it. However, because I did not think ahead, or because red is my favorite color, they're both coming in red. The Zoom TKL will be a Gundam-themed Zaku 2 build, with Zaku switches, Zaku keycaps, and a Zaku desk mat, and a Zaku 2 Gunpla. While the QK75 is going to be a Megaman from Konosuba Explosion build, with Cat Explosion keycaps and a Cat Explosion desk mat. I'm not playing games, so I should probably change the title of the stream. Yeah, pulling out switches from a Keychron is definitely a lot of wrist strength. Okay, how am I supposed to take these stabilizer ones out? Other keycap sets I have. Whew, allergies. Let me hold on to answer for 1 second while I try to figure out how to get these fucking, Oh, I guess I can do it that way. Ish. Let me get these stabilizer ones out first. Oh, careful. Oop, another hair jump scare. Okay. That takes care of that. Look at that, bare and naked. I could put these Gateron stop switches to the side for a bit. How am I gonna put these? Right, other keycap sets. I have, besides the aforementioned Zaku keycap set, which I got off Etsy for like 30 bucks. I also have Catalantis. I have GMK Hallyu on my frog, so it's a mono purple build. My frog is dark purple, it's very nice. Although I'm thinking of switching it out with Asume Dusk, which I just got. Asume Dusk will either go on the frog, or it will go on this today, depending on how I feel. Other sets, what other sets? And I have the full set of GMK Norse, except for the cable. I'm waiting for the extras to drop from Space Cable, whenever they do that. If they ever do that. GMK Norse, I'm looking forward to putting that on a full-size board. Or a compact full-size. And I won one of Crookie's Silver Artisans. So I have a Silver Snake Artisan made out of plated silver. That's going to go on the Norse build. I also have a Finicky Blacklight, which was the very first keycap set I ever used on the Gion Frog. Which, for a PPT set, is actually really nice quality. And then chilling in my closet, I have British Raceway, and I think Cannon Keys Star, whatever it's called, and then one other set. I think it's black on white. Or is it white on black? I don't remember. But I got those from the Mystery Caps sale from Cannon Keys. Actually, I wonder how good green on black would look. Yeah, I have kind of a hoarding problem, but luckily the nice part about being a hoarder and not being wowed by anything coming out is that you can just build with everything you have and not worry about buying anything else. How are we looking on time? Time is looking good. 2 more hours. Still currently hunting for full-time work because holy shit, the advertising job market is terrible in this economy. But if I'm able to score some decent paying jobs in the near future, I'm hoping to get both the Wind X98 restocks. I'm hoping to get a gray-brown one or a gray one. That happens. And then, whatchamacallit, if I'm able to stock up even more money, I want to eventually get the Event Horizon, if I'm able to get into their buy, which is a very cool-looking 65% XT board. Alright, so how does this come apart? Alright, that's very pingy. I'm gonna have to force break that later. Okay, how do you... remove daughter PCB from main PCB. That screws. Let me watch the disassembly video real quick. Unscrew the screws in the daughter PCB. Daughter PCB from the main PCB. Okay, hold on a second. What's going on here? Is there something else I need to unscrew? Oh, there we go. It was just the knob. Go. So set these to the side for a second. Not Key 65. I'm getting Event Horizon, which is an upcoming 65% XT. Alright, so. Alright, so for this, I know for the Keychron Q1, you need to do the Force Break mod. Let's see here. Does the version 2 require the Force Break mod? Let's find out. Oh no, I have a QK 75, not 65. Yep, so I guess people do recommend the Force Break mod. So, this is my first time doing it, but this to the side real quick. It is budget, but it's very surprising just how far budget has come. I think the cheapest config of it is something along the lines of... I think it's 130 actually, if you get the no plate option and a solder plate. It's an incredibly good deal. Yeah, this year coming up looks like it's going to be really good for budget stuff, because QK is making a TKL, they're making a compact full size, and then Zoom is making a 75% with a screen, along with their own version of a full size. So lots of exciting stuff coming up. So for people wondering what exactly I am doing right now, for those of you who don't build keyboards, hello. Now that's folded over, that's gonna not work anymore. I'm doing what's called a force break mod. Due to the nature of the Keychron keyboard being a full metal case, it unfortunately had a lot of problems with a lot of sound ping, making pingy sounds on the first version. And while this is the revamped model, there are like mixed reports of whether or not they fixed the pinginess. So by adding layers of masking tape on top, you can reduce the pinginess even further. And people ask me, well, why the hell would you do that for a keyboard? It's for typing on. Well, when you spend this much on a keyboard, you want to make sure it sounds and feels good. Wow, this is an annoying amount of tape. You can do surprisingly a lot of really nice things with the right budget keyboard. It doesn't even have to be like one of the ones you sign up for a group buy for or wait weeks. I've seen people do some pretty interesting things with keys they've found off of like Amazon and AliExpress. This is definitely one way to stay awake. I swear. I got back from Asia last week, and man, my jet lag is still kind of rough. It's not nearly as bad as it was the first few days back, but I have not been sleeping well at night, so I am doing my best not to take a nap during the day this time. I think the general thing they say about jet lag is that it takes like an hour per... Wait, no, it takes a day per hour of time difference. And well, if that's actually the case, that leaves me up shit's creek, because South Korea and Japan are 17 hours ahead of the West Coast. Let's see here. Alright, tape mod, or not tape mod, force break mod complete. Alright, now I can set this back aside. Actually remove this rest, because I'm not going to be needing it for a bit. Water break. Alrighty. Now for everyone's least favorite part about anything keyboard related, lubing. First, I need to get these stabs out. Let's see here. It is my least favorite part about anything keyboard related. Lubing stabs is fine, but lubing switches... I mean, I'm glad I have all the switches I'll ever need for a while, but I would not be ashamed of paying someone to lube for me if it wasn't outrageously expensive. I value my time, and I value not fucking up my lube job. Because nothing is worse when you try lubing switches, and you don't get it consistent. So one is mushier than the other. I've heard that, I heard there's at least one pretty good, like, server or business or whatever, where they do really good lube jobs for a pretty reasonable price. I think it's called, like, Custom Keyboard Co. or something. Alrighty. Behold the PCB in all of its glory by itself. That's gonna get set to the side for a bit. So there is plate foam, and we're gonna just take the stabs out. And we'll just leave that up there. Alrighty, time to get the lube out. An hour and a half left. We are doing great on time today. Where did I put the other? Alrighty. So luckily, they did do a little lube on this out of the box, so that's nice at least. However, we are going to do more. Because you can never lube up enough. Well, okay, that's a lie. You can definitely overlube. I'm actually going to turn on my lamp for this. Then for the wire, we use XHT VDZ. Which very much sounds like a Dragon Ball Z ripoff. And you cannot see him or hear him probably, but my younger cat is being a criminal and trying to scratch my brand new bed frame, which I've had for not even 2 days. Alright, that's the spacebar stabs done. And luckily, since this is only a 75%, I only have 3 more stabs to do. Have a good one. So for anyone who doesn't build keyboards, who's wondering what the hell am I doing and why am I talking about lube? For custom keyboards, in order to get good sound and good feel, it is excruciatingly important that you manage to get good, consistent, and most importantly, good consistent feel, but also, most importantly, you want to make sure there's as little friction as possible on the moving parts of your keyboard. And one of the biggest parts where friction happens are these little things which are called stabilizers. See, the average keycap is 1 inch. When you start putting on keys that are longer than 1 inch, they will start rattling. And unless you install stabilizers, the larger your key gets, the more it's going to rattle and move around and make very unpleasant sounds. And also, rattly keys are just no fun to type with consistently. That is where lubing comes into play. Lubing, which is what I'm doing right now, is when you apply lubricant or thermal grease or some sort of viscous paste to stabilizers. You can also do that to switches, which I'll explain later. But the benefits of lubing is that it reduces the amount of friction on your stabilizers, so it makes your longer keys sound better and feel better to type with. And this is most apparent on the spacebar. Like, getting it right in the other long caps, like Enter, Shift, and all that are important. But the spacebar is definitely your number one priority because it is the number one key you're going to use the most. That's a long key that requires a stabilizer. And if your spacebar feels icky, it's going to mess with the rest of your typing experience. One thing I am not doing right now, that if I want to be like super duper precise and a little obsessive over it, is I'm not doing wire balancing. Wire balancing is when you check to make sure the wires on these things are very, very, very straight. Because besides improper like stabilizer housings, which are these green things, the next biggest source of rattle and unpleasant feel, the next biggest source of rattle and unpleasant feel will be if your wires are not straight. That's why you gotta be careful when you reinstall the wires too, because if you are not careful, you're going to bend them, and that's going to make all the air work so far pretty much moot, because bent wires will rub against places they are not supposed to rub against. This is actually the wrong grease. Whoopsie. Yeah. Hope there won't be too much big deal. As you might be noticing, I'm using two different types of grease. One is specifically for the housing, and this thicker, more viscous one, the BDZ, is for the wire. Alright, one more to go. Honestly, if I really wanted to, I probably do not need to go this far. The default lube job here is actually not that bad. All I'm doing is adding more on top. Granted, there is something to be said about having too much lube. If you add too much lube, your keys will be mushy. Rather, your stabilizers will be mushy, which will make the keys that they're attached to mushy. And nobody likes that. Too little lube, though, or too inconsistently applied lube, and you might as well not have lubed at all. It's very much a balancing act. And, well, now I need to reapply it. There's always one that gives me a lot of trouble. It's always that one. Yep, that was done improperly. There we go. That's one. Go. There we go. Those are good. Those are also good. Alrighty. The nice part about lube is that as long as you don't do nearly as clumsily as I do, this stuff lasts for a long time, like multiple keyboard projects. Now that we have that taken care of, we can go ahead and start the stabilizers back in. Oh, hello. Okay. Also, stabilizers come in two main types. You can have screw-in stabilizers, which are these, where you have to use a screw to hold them in place. And depending on your... they tend to be more stable, I think. In some cases. And then there are what are called clip-ins, where you just clip it in on both sides, and then use a stopper to hold it in place. This is my first time working with screw-ins. I will say that the reinstallation process for them is much more annoying. Oh, those are the wrong holes. No wonder. Alright, stabilizers are reinstalled. I think, for the most part. A few of them are a bit crooked, though. that foam off for now to make this easier. Welcome, welcome, lurk away. Ah, I see what the problem is now. So there are these little pegs on the non-screw side of these stabilizers. However, they have to go all the way through, or it's going to sit crooked on the board. If it sits crooked on the board, it's going to be a bad time for everyone involved. What on earth? Thank you, please. Those are not radio-friendly lyrics. Let's skip ahead a bit. And that is another runaway screw. Alright. Are these crooked too? Yes, they are. The spacebar is. Alright, how are we looking on stabs? Yeah, these ones also look crooked, so I'm just going to redo these, just to be safe. Alright, that looks good. Let's get the phone back on here. Now we screw on the plate. Alright, so now we have the plate screwed back on, which means we can now start reassembling the board. But first, the daughter board, yes. That is very important. How do you reassemble this? Go. So in case if anyone's wondering what a daughter board is, some keyboards, instead of having everything on one PCB, including the USB port, they'll have something called a daughter board, which is a miniature PCB or printed circuit board that has the connection for USB. So as you can see, there's a little cable running to the main board from the daughter board, and that is what connects to USB. Oh, hello. Okay. How are we doing on time? We got 45 minutes to an hour left. Should be plenty of time. Knob back on here. Perfect. And now we get to decide what switches we're going to use. So the real question here is, do I want to use Technoviolets or do I want to use Honeycombs? The camera. There we go. So these are Technoviolets. And then we have Honeycombs. And keeping is a drug, let's be honest here. Actually, I think I did this out of order, but let's see if I can still push these in. Let's go with Technoviolets. Actually, you know what? No. Let's go with the Honeycombs. Choices. Choices. You know what? No. Let's go with the Technoviolets. Ooh, jet lag is starting to catch up with me. I still have a Japanese class after this, too. O 勉強したいんですか？まあ、でも、この漢字を分かった。この漢字を分かっている。日本語は、すごく難しいな。と、日本の外で、練習なものはもう、いろいろありませんね。It's a difficult language to learn, and it's even worse if you can't spend at least some degree of time in Japan, in my opinion. Because outside of Japan, there are very, very few opportunities to immerse yourself in the language. Which is especially problematic when you consider the fact that they have kanji and two sets of basic characters called hiragana and katakana. While I understand, like, everyone has their strong suits, when it comes to learning a pictographic language, such as Japanese, Chinese, Korean, what have you, I would definitely argue that the reading and writing portion of Japanese is the hardest part of the language for the vast majority of people. Merely because Kanji is a nightmare to learn, and it's even harder to retain. There just aren't that many opportunities to use it outside the country. And unless you are constantly immersing yourself in media, you're going to lose your ability to properly read or recall it. Speaking and listening is easier to maintain, because you can always find a language buddy to speak with. And you can always practice listening by playing Japanese dubbed games or listening to anime in Japanese. For reading or writing, unless you go out of your way to read Japanese books, articles, games, manga, what have you, it's gonna fade lightning fast. The thing with Japanese also is that the vast majority of Japanese study texts out there will only ever teach you how to say things extremely politely or extremely formally. And as someone who has been to Japan, has studied abroad there in a while, where's I going with this? What was I saying? I completely lost it. Oh, right. So, my issue with a lot of Japanese textbooks is that even though they're technically correct in approaching it this way, a lot of Japanese textbooks will only ever teach you how to say things extremely formally. And if you've ever gone to Japan, lived in Japan, spent more than a day there, you will quickly come to realize that no one speaks like how they do in the textbooks. Outside of, like, maybe workplace situations, but even then, the workplace, they follow an entirely specific set of workplace etiquette and dialogue and manner of speaking, which is called keigo. Well, some of it. Keigo, in general, just means polite speech. And that includes honorifics, using very polite forms of certain common verbs or words. But like, with my host family, for example, I very, very rarely speak with them like they show in Japanese textbooks like Genki. I'm hoping I did not bend the pins on most of these, because I will be very sad if I have to yank out more than a few of these to fix. So with switches for keyboards, there are these little legs on them. These little copper legs. Oh, aside. Those copper legs are what connect to the circuit board. And if they get bent, they're not going to be read by the circuit board, and it's a giant pain in the ass to re-bend them. If they're bent beyond saving, congratulations, you just lost a switch. I have to replace it, and that sucks when it happens. Which is why you always, always, always get spares. Alright, so let's see if this thing still turns on. It does still turn on. Now let's go to a key tester. Oh, we just found our first culprit. Oh, hold on. Yep, this is what I mean by a bent pin. Not fun. I don't think that's gonna come back, so we're just gonna use a different one. There we go. Okay. We potentially have one more. Nope, that's fine. That's just how it's supposed to be. Okay. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we come to the final part of the build process, which is choosing your keycaps. And I think for this build in particular, we are going to go with... Let's try our Cat Atlantis. Alright, let's see here. I am going to do what's called a pro gamer move. these. This is Catalanus. It is a very cool looking set. And these are Greek alphabets. Keycaps. So what I'm going to do first of all, I have to Sigma. Where is Sigma? There's Sigma. Next is Delta. Next up, we have the alphas. Home stretch, folks. Just gotta get the rest of these on. Alright, now for what they call the creature keys. Yeah, there's a little rattle there. Not too bad, though. Actually, before doing the rest of the creature mods, I should do the icons.
Welcome to Keychron Music.
Please tell me, forever you take me high. Oh, she's on line, cruising. You make me tight. If you let,
Yeah, okay. This is going to be an issue with the spacebar. So what's happening right now is that these technoviolets, they are what are called long pole switches, which means they have a higher stem than regular switches. Unfortunately, that means we could come across compatibility issues like here, where the switch in question will stick out further than the stabilizers. Let's see, when did we try this?
please tell me, forever you take me high. Oh, she's on line, cruising. You make me tight. If you
Oh, for fuck's sake. To do here. Let's try also doing this. That would be my alarm, which means I need to hurry the fuck up. Oh, what happened here? Interesting. There we go. Oh, you know, that's not great. The hell did I press? There we go. Much better. Okay. Okay, let's try it this way. No, I don't want to do sticky keys. Okay, that's figured out now. Alrighty, back to it. We need to wrap up kind of quickly here, so I can make dinner. Okay, what row is this? Enter is for row 2. Come on. Oh, derp. I put it on upside down. Almost there. I'm missing arrow keys? What? Oh. Well, I'm dumb. Those were not page up and page down. Those were the other two arrow keys. Ha. Ha ha. Oh, God. Okay, then what was page up? Go. Okay. We are almost done. We just have a few more keys to go, and then this build is finite. Interesting. I think it's this one. Yep. All right. Alright, final touches. The very last key to go on is... Oh, it's so much work. But it's very cathartic. Ta-da! Full aluminum keycap. It actually stays on. Hell? Wait, is this even on the right way? Hold on a second. Alright, well, that is the end of the stream. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a good one. I need to actually go and take care of dinner now, so I will catch you all later. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night.